Let's talk about Jennifer Melle. She's an NHS nurse. She came here from, I think it's Uganda, many, many years ago. She's made a life here. She's worked here. Spotless career in the NHS. She has never had a formal complaint or anything made about her. Does her work well. Until she had a bit of a problem with one evening, one day when she was at work, when a patient was brought in from a men's prison, a convicted paedophile who claimed to be trans. She, inadvertently, in a conversation about this patient who was causing a lot of difficulties for other staff, referred to him, because he is a man, as Mr. and he. This prompted a huge, violently abusive, racist tirade involving the N-word 3 times towards this nurse from this paedophile patient. And you'd think that she would have been given some help from the hospital which employed her after this really traumatic experience. But no, she was put under disciplinary proceedings because she'd used the incorrect pronouns and been transphobic. Well, let's talk about this with Andrea Williams, who's Chief Executive of the Christian Legal Centre, who are helping this nurse with her case against the hospital after she was disciplined. Very good afternoon to you, Andrea.
Good afternoon.
I saw this story and I just thought this can't be believable, and yet again it's another case where this madness is happening. Now, we would have loved to speak to Jennifer as well, but she's at work, working in the NHS, doing a good job for patients, as she was on this occasion. Now, we're not allowed to know the identity of the convicted paedophile, but just talk us through what actually happened, because he was being very aggressive with all of the staff, wasn't he?
He was, and he was on a urology ward. He came in with prison guards. He was shackled, his arms and his feet. But Jennifer, being the experienced and established nurse that she was, knew that she was treating him as she treats all her patients, with compassion and with kindness. She wanted to serve him well. She could see that he was agitated. She was trying to calm down the situation. Indeed, the other nurse that was working with her, Jennifer, that night was the most senior nurse on the ward. She came to her and said, we need to do something about this particular patient. Yeah. And Jennifer then intervened, and it was really when she was talking to the consultant doctor on the phone that this man heard her referring to him as Mr.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, he came to the door.
He is a 6-foot bloke, this guy, isn't he?
He's a 6-foot bloke, and you may remember the case of David Mackworth. He was a doctor who was asked during a training session whether he would be able to call a 6'2" bloke a woman on a medical record, and he said no, and for that he actually didn't get his job within the Department of Work and Pensions. Yeah. So this is actually not a hypothetical case anymore. It's a real. It's real.
It's actually happened. And the patients who remonstrated with her, abused her very aggressively, lunged at her, had to be restrained by the prison guards. So, I mean, a very intimidating situation for her. Lots, calling her the N-word 3 times. I mean, totally and utterly unacceptable behaviour. A nasty little piece of work, let's be honest. But she explained to him very calmly, and continued to treat him nevertheless, that actually, she wasn't willing to refer to him as a woman because of her Christian beliefs. That was the only reason why she mentioned it, was because of her Christian beliefs. Now, I'm an atheist, but I wouldn't be willing to refer to him as a woman because, because, hey, I'm sane and I understand facts. And we know, thanks to Maya Forstadt, it's a protected philosophical belief. I mean, it's not a belief, it's a fact. But she was quite traumatised by this, as you understandably would be. Most of us don't have this happen to us in a normal working life. And then what happened next?
Well, she was traumatised by it, but she continued to treat him that night. And in fact, he calmed down, but he then made a complaint about her. And as she finished her shift and was on her way home on the bus, and by the way, she is one of those people that you were referring to, in fact, in the last section of your show today. She just loves this country, the opportunities that is given to her. She says that she's never been racially abused, in fact, which is a great testament to our country in many ways. But until that night. And she was then asked to fill out an incident report, and then she was put under a disciplinary process. She was the one that was moved from that particular ward that she loved. She loved the busyness of it, and was then unable to get extra shifts in order to do overtime, which she relied upon
for her
in terms of income for her children. So she was being punished.
Yeah, punished for, and again, helping a patient. And she had there'd never been a complaint against before. She hadn't said, "I'm not treating him. He's a man." He's nothing of the sort. And yet, the word of this paedophile, that apparent him being him. And by the way, it's worth mentioning what this man was convicted of. He as a man, had posed as if he was female, a young girl online, to lure young teenage boys into committing sex acts, which he then recorded. So he had deliberately used a fake female identity. So, which is, of course, what he was doing right now. And anyway, if he isn't a man, why is he housed in a male prison, you could ask?
Well, exactly.
It is. It is so extraordinary. So she's bringing a case for constructive dismissal, or
yes, for discrimination against her religious faith.
Yeah, because she has the right. Again, which is the right to politely explain why she won't be forced to lie and pretend.
That's exactly right. She hasn't been dismissed. We managed to the process, as you know, very often the process can be the punishment. She came under discipline. She's currently subject to disciplinary proceedings with the regulatory body, and that again that they are referencing matters such as you're refusing to treat this patient with the dignity and respect that is
that you should give a paedophile.
And the truth
paedophiles have feelings too, Andrea.
The reality for this nurse is that night was that she was treating the patient. Paedophile or not, in one sense, that night she was being an amazing nurse. Yeah. She was the senior nurse who did her job, and when you meet her, and you see her energy and how she is, you can just imagine that, as is the reality, that she was very, very popular. Yeah,
it is just extraordinary. I'm so glad you are supporting her. I'm so sorry that she needs to have your support, that this has happened to her. It is extraordinary, but do keep us posted on the developments there. Chief Executive of the Christian Legal Centre, Andrea Williams. Just an outrageous case. Well,